seem to be warped, water damage, things of that nature are old. And we plan to replace all of those. But nonetheless, it was still pretty stressful, the fact that we had painted the trim first, on the first day, and then got the paint sprayer to spray the walls. We had intended to do two bedrooms, our tenant's room, and what will be a nursery when we ever have kids. But we were able to get the trim done in both rooms and drying for a day, and we bought a paint sprayer instead of using rollers and brushes, because my husband had experience with one in the past and figured that it would make it quicker and easier. And he has plans for it for other projects as well. But it did not go the way he had intended it to. There are spots on the walls that got missed, and there are spots on the trim that we had just painted that are no longer the color that we had originally painted them. Very stressful. But we decided to take a break from it, step back, get some more resources, and we plan to touch up and finish the other room in a few weeks. But we are very, very busy, very, very busy. And then after I spent Monday catching up on everything, the laundry, and goodness, I can't for the life of me remember what all I had to do that day. A lesson plan, all sorts of things. But I was just so overwhelmed by the end of the day. And to top it off, that night I started feeling kind of sick. Just very much feeling the urge to vomit and all sorts of nasty gut feelings. And my apologies, the cats are coming in here. But I ended up going through a very fitful night that night. Woke up with even worse stomach pain that next morning, and I wasn't able to hold any food down. I ended up just thinking it was just a bit of, overwhelm at least. And I decided to take that day off of work, figuring it would be fine tomorrow. It was way worse the next day. I wasn't even able to hold water down, and it was extremely painful. I have had stomach issues for years, and there was a time in my life during high school where I had trouble keeping food down, to the point people thought I was anorexic. I was not. I don't have a bad relationship with food. I just have a very odd digestive problems that have not been fully diagnosed. I believe there's an underlying cause, but nobody's been able to find it. Anyways, those have subsided for several years with medication, and I worry that it's psychological. I get too anxious and my body gets sick. And realizing how bad the weekend was, I was worried that I wouldn't ever bounce back from it. Because it kind of spirals out of control where was constantly trying food and not being able to keep it down, and then it's vicious until I can't. So I was terrified. This went on for the entire week until my husband and I finally decided, well, actually it was Friday, I was feeling okay, I was able to eat and keep down a couple of meals, and I got really excited about that, thinking I was on my way to being better. That next morning, however, I was right back to being sick. I wasn't able to sleep. Hold on just a second. Sorry about that. That was my dad. He calls to check up on me. So, like I was saying, during the week, I had gotten extremely sick. And it was getting to the point where keeping even water down was starting to become worrisome to my husband. Thinking that we might be pregnant, I did take a pregnancy test, which did come back out negative, and that Saturday we decided to go to the clinic so that I could get answers as to what was wrong with me, and maybe some fluids put inside of me if I needed to be put on an IV drip for a while, because I was getting to the point where I could not sleep. But I ended up getting a medication that is safe for pregnant women. That helps reduce nausea so that I could eat and keep my food down without it coming back up. And that night I was feeling pretty okay. I had my husband to go out and get groceries. I usually supervise the grocery visits, so I was super nervous about that. But he had to pick up my medicine as well as some applesauce and bread for me, because those are the best things to have on your stomach while you're sick. Called a brat diet. Bananas, rice, apples, and toast. Those are the best things to eat while you are sick. But I was very hesitant to go to the doctor. But we needed to confirm that it wasn't something really bad. And my doctor was able to make sure everything was okay, just in case she did think that it might be very, very early pregnancy symptoms. They took a test as well, but she said even their test can be negative this early. So, we are very excited, but I am very concerned if that is what morning sickness is like. I am not going to be excited for the rest of this pregnancy. But I will do anything in the world for a child. that since I was so sick, I really wanted to just go see my parents. Which I had stuff for them, but I also just wanted the comfort of being at home, with my parents. And my husband is very comforting, but I felt awful. I had woken him up in the middle of the night, just about every night this last week, and it was starting to get hard because he was sleeping during the day when I needed him to help me get things done with the house being a 5-bedroom, well, it's a 4-bedroom house. It's quite hard to take care of things just by myself with 2 very healthy men in the house that have really, I don't want to say no regard for, but I've got very strict standards on how I keep my house, and they don't seem bothered by a little bit of mess. But I was getting tired of sitting and looking at all the things I needed to do. I wanted to get out and see my parents and just something else for a little bit, though it doesn't help because my mother constantly is telling me about how I need to take the boxes and bags of baby items home with me to go through. And I keep telling her that I would like to wait until I have my nursery finished. She's trying to move stuff out so that she can have her house the way she wants it to. And I understand that, but we ended up going to our movie Saturday. We watched the new Doctor Strange movie. There are no spoilers here. I loved it though. We actually had to rent the newest Spider-Man movie a couple hours beforehand, because we hadn't seen it yet. So we all decided to watch that because my brother had an aneurysm when I told him I was going to watch the new Doctor Strange movie, and I hadn't seen the new Spider-Man movie. He was quite distraught that I would do something of such caliber. He is very much a watch it in order multiple times sort of guy, and he very much has a closure problem. I love my brother, but we both got attributes from our parents that were less than desirable. Anyway, I think we have determined that a vacation this summer is not going to happen. Just because I have had to take a week off of work for illness, and I really can't afford to take any more time off. We're already strapped for time. She starts school in the fall, and we are not even close to being done with the curriculum that we have set. Plus, they have their own things going on right now. So that's becoming quite stressful. But we have a plan in place. I'm passively cleaning my keyboard. All of the gamers in the world know that the WASD keys get very sweaty and gross. Oh, the icing on the cake with me being sick, though, was that our air conditioning unit went out on Thursday. I was very sick, and it was getting very hot, and we couldn't figure out why it was so hot. I kept turning the thermostat thermostat down, but it kept reading at like in the 70s. And last week, the highest day of the week was in the 90s in the springtime. And I was not having it. Let me tell you that. I was already very fragile and dehydrated and sick. And so my husband loaded me up into the car, and we went to get air conditioning units for the house. Like I said, at this point I am pale as a ghost, super sick and hot. And what makes it worse is that when you're sick, you don't really want to wear like tight clothes, or honestly, with me, I don't want to wear clothes at all. Just because I'm sick, I don't want to put in the effort to get dressed, but I have a tenant that lives here. So obviously, wandering around in less dressed clothes, especially with it being like hot, was not an option for me. So I had been wearing like the same comfy t-shirt, loose pair of shorts for like 3 days. And so I'm looking disheveled, and we were able to find 2 window units and 1 little portable air conditioner, which went in our bedroom because we also had a fan. So our tenant got one in his room, we put one in the living room, and it's managed to keep the house manageable. Oh, but my goodness, the heat, awful. But we still haven't gotten somebody out to look at it. Apparently, with it being that hot, many of them have gone out, and it's been wild, a wild week. So after our movie, I was actually able to munch a bit of popcorn during our movie, not a lot, probably about like a third, no, probably a fifth of the popcorn bag that my husband had bought. He had over-seasoned it, and he likes those like sprinkle seasonings, but they way too salty for me. But we got home late that night. I had a very fitful sleep. No, that was the night that I woke up at 2 in the morning. And ended up eating some food and not being able to go back to sleep. And I had gone to bed at like 11 that night after our movie ended, so I was running on like 2 hours of sleep that day. Very, very painful. I do not recommend it. Those of you who are only getting a few hours of sleep a night, seek help. Okay, that's not, no. I don't understand how people can do that. Like, college students will just chug a cup of coffee and say that they are like totally good, and take tests and go to class, and y'all need help. So don't do that. No. But sorry, I'm looking at my nails. They've grown out quite a bit since my false nails have been on. I think I'll actually paint my actual nails, but I gotta decide what color I want. Leave in the comments what I should do with my fingernails. I do have a decorating pen, and I'll do an ASMR video of me doing my nails. Anyway, I'm not a decorating pen, like one of those, those little 2-sided detail gadgets that have the little balls on the end where you can, I have one of those. And I only have like a handful of colors, so, I mean, suggestions are welcome, but, I might not have the color. I can always go out and get it though. I need to build up my nail polish stash. I buy them as I get ideas. I most recently bought a pink, purple, and blue. I also have like a chromatic one, but it was on clearance. And I think it was on clearance because it didn't work quite well. It was cool, but it just been like the world's worst about waking him up at night because I'm sick. And I felt so bad about that. But we went to see my parents that day, and we actually went and ate at my favorite restaurant because we had set to do dinner and a movie the same day, but I was feeling much better by that afternoon and was able to keep down some food from my favorite restaurant. It's a little Japanese hibachi, and oh gosh, it's so good. They have sushi. Obviously I didn't do anything terrible. I did a California roll, a yummy roll, sushi rolls. A yummy roll has got like deep fried shrimp. It's like a deep fried sushi roll. It's really good. And the California roll has nothing but avocado, cream cheese, and crab meat in it with rice. But I also did an order of shrimp noodle. That's my usual order. In case you guys, if I ever get huge on here and y'all want to order me food, that's what I like. That's my favorite. That is my favorite meal. If you ever send pizzas to my house, like I see some YouTubers do, don't. My husband will probably be happy, but I would not be. And if you guys ever want to send me fan mail or anything, my email is linked in my bio. Ask for my address, and I will give it to you. That way I know specifically who is sending me something. I gotta keep from the creeps getting it to me, you know. And even if I give it out to a creep, at least I'll have an email address. I'll track you. That sounds really paranoid, but my husband gets so paranoid about me talking about my life online. But this morning, I woke up and I wasn't necessarily nauseous as much as I was very aware that my stomach was empty and in need of something on it. So I woke up and I was just very woozy, very much my body had burned through my energy last night and it was not fun. I managed to slowly and painfully eat a bowl of applesauce. Have you guys ever been sick and just taking bites of food has been just so hard? That's how it was. But I managed to take that, and I did end up taking one of I call them magic stomach pills, because they really do cease the pain in your stomach so that you can digest your food. But I managed to get that down, and then I went back to sleep, which was a mistake, because I woke up and I felt like I was still dreaming. It was very disorienting, but I did manage to eat breakfast and get some more chores done. You guys can hear the dishwasher. I did manage to get some dishes washed, and I've started another load. Just trying to keep things clean. I would, even while sick, I would passively walk by counters and wipe them down. I hate the mess. But, I did manage to eat a better breakfast about 9-10 o'clock this morning. It's currently like 3:28 now. But, I did manage to eat a pretty decent breakfast and, some leftover sushi that I had from the restaurant. Well, it wasn't my leftover sushi, so funny story. Our roommate, made a roast Sunday night because he's amazing. He does cook on the weekends and on his days off, to pull his own weight, which is way more than we've asked of him. And he was getting the roast meat out to de-thaw, and he accidentally knocked my leftovers out of the refrigerator. And I lost all of my sushi, and he called me while I was at my parents' and asked me what I had ordered, and when I got home, he had replaced it. Very kind of him. They were leftovers, so I mean, I wasn't too worried about it. If they would have been gone, he would have said, sorry, I knocked them out. I would have understood and have been a little disappointed, but nonetheless, accidents happen. But I was very pleased to find that I had my meal plus a little extra when I had gotten home. So today I managed to eat the rest of my sushi, and Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. I am a Coke drinker if I do soda, but my husband had gotten pizza the other night while I was sick, and he was too tired to cook. Him and our roommate went halfsies on a pizza, and he wanted a regular Dr. Pepper, and that's what they gave him. I was gonna bring it to my mother, because that's one of her favorites, but I had forgotten. So I decided to drink it myself. I figured the caffeine boost would help, and it did. It really helped bring me out of my mind bog. My nose ring is showing. It really helped bring me out of my mind bog. And I have been working on my little projects. I managed to get close to 2 rows finished on my, almost, well, actually, technically I got an entire row done. It takes me one whole movie, I've realized, to do one crocheted row on my blanket. So about 2 hours to finish. Well, I was right back where I started, or about where I started, because I was like in the middle of a row. But this blanket is to be a king-sized Irish flag blanket. I made a queen-sized one in high school. It took me 6 months of constantly working on it. I worked on it every evening. I was very determined, and I got it done. And then my husband wanted one, and during that time I had graduated high school, so I didn't have like some set hours in the evening of just downtime where I would watch TV and crochet. I had college, which was very, because I was doing it online, it was very hit or miss with when I got time to do stuff. Some days I would work on college for like an hour, and other days I would work on college for like 8 to 10 hours. It just wasn't consistent enough for me to feel like a project. But after that, I just got busy with life, and it's been 3 years since I've started this project, and I am not even done with the first section of blanket. It's green, white, and orange for the Irish flag, and I've got them measured out in some weird way. I'm not using a pattern. I actually came up with it on my own. I know it's probably not great to be pulling at my skin. But it had to happen. Had the leg nail. What else? I'm trying to think. A lot has happened, you guys. I'm not kidding. I wonder if this light works. I think we determined that it did not. I have a light above my desk. I think I just realized that it was there. But, nervous about it because I don't know what that means for my recording. If nothing else, I will record from my cell phone on my mini mic and make it very, very lo-fi for you guys again. But I'll figure it out. I usually do, but the video quality might be better. I might get a camera separate from my computer, so I might just invest in a camera for you guys. If you can see, our outside has been kind of cloudy and it goes in and out of being light and dark. The little projects I've been working on besides the blanket, which I have measured it out to be 128 rows that are, I can't remember how long, but I had measured out how many rows it takes to make an inch, and then I had to, figure it all out, how many inches it was supposed, each section needed to be, and I really got to the math of making this blanket, and I decided to do it all on my own just because I learned how to chain and then do double crochets in each chain and make a blanket. And once I figured that out, I'm like, well, what if I just took, and I started with like a little square, like a rag, like a washcloth or something. And I'm like, well, I mean, simple concept, just do that, but longer. And I got really, like I said, for the first blanket, I was so determined, and it's really warm because it's just a double crocheted sheet of yarn. And it's huge. We actually don't use it anymore because my husband wanted a bigger blanket. So here I am making a bigger blanket, so that way we can both enjoy it. Let's see, what else? I know it's already at like 35 minutes. My brother and his wife are finally getting into an actual house, their apartment that they were living in. It was awful. Not too long ago, their town had been hit by a tornado. Luckily everybody was safe, but it did rip chunks out of their apartment complex, and their apartment it hasn't been the same. But their lease was up at the end of this month, so they toughed it out. My brother's wife is 4 months pregnant, so I get really nervous all the time about them being in the heat or being, just all the time. So they're finally getting a house, and we're going to help them move Memorial Day weekend, so there may or may not be a video that Monday. Probably not, because my husband does not work that day, so we will either be home or I am going to be a state away, helping my brother move. It also sucks because they live out of state now. It's a long drive. I believe they are 3.5 hours from where we live. And my husband is the only one that can make that drive. My father can't sit in a car for that length of time anymore because he has nerve damage in his back. So long car rides make his leg go numb, and obviously no legs, no pedals, no car. And my mother, she is not comfortable driving those distances. She can get to work and back, which is in the same town as she lives. Actually, it's both of her jobs she has to are right on the same street. Well, actually, one of them's a couple blocks over, but it's within the same little area, so she's able to drive to work. My mom has a whole story. as to why she does not drive well. A lot of mental health issues, much like me. I also do not drive. I don't like it. It gives me incredible anxiety. I do have my license though. I am able to drive enough if I need to go somewhere. But I will never ever voluntarily say I'll drive. No, I hate driving. I hate it. Because you never know what other people are going to do. And you have to be very vigilant watching things, and I cannot. I get very distracted while driving as well, and I feel like a danger to myself and others. I would be that annoying driver that's driving on the wrong side of the road trying to figure out where they're going, and cutting people off unknowingly, and I don't like this. No. Sorry, I've got a few pimples on my face. They're a little better now. I did a face mask the other night. I am not excited for the 3.5-hour drive in a U-Haul to bring my brother his stuff. A lot of things. My parents are amazing people. Their start to life was very hard. They both got married with absolutely nothing and built from nothing. They know how hard it is. My brother and his wife do not have anything and got pregnant very, very, very soon after they had gotten married. Like, first try sort of thing, and they were not trying. Inexperience is not a good thing, children. But, they're very scared. Because they don't have anything for this baby, and it's month 4 already. But my mom is the lord of Facebook, I think, and she goes to garage sales, and she does the buying, selling pages, and she sells like all of our old stuff that I've just determined I don't want. I let my mom just sell because I don't want to deal with the hassle of it. Some of the stuff I do deal with the hassle of and bring back home so that we can sell. But that's besides the point. She has been getting furniture and baby supplies and just all sorts of things and storing it in the garage for my brother. So we are going to be bringing all of that stuff in a U-Haul and moving it to his new place, along with what little belongings they have from their old place, and most likely spending the night that night. I am very excited to see them again in their new home, which I haven't seen yet. It's hard to go and visit them, like I said, 3.5 hours away, and my husband works. He actually used his last personal day. He gets 2 personal days a year and so many points that he can take off for being sick. It's a weird system. But he took his last personal day of the year. Now, we're only in May. And to get the air conditioning units put into our house after they had gone out, and to take care of me because I was not well. So it's hard to go visit. But I'm very excited to go see them. I do plan to take a vacation around the time that my niece or nephew is being born, which will be in November, and I will go up and stay with them for a week. Maybe I'll have my husband take that week off and we will stay with them together and really enjoy the company of my brother and his wife, and hopefully be there the day that she gives birth. Very excited. This is the first baby in our family since my brother which is the baby's dad, so that's wild. He's 21. Well, almost 22. He'll be 22 in September. I can't believe I'm turning 24 in July. I'm not liking that. I'm not liking that at all. Almost 24 years old, and I still cry for my dad every time I'm sick. I could probably tell you how many times. Let me get my phone. How many times I've called my dad this past week while I'm sick. He calls me all the time. Reasons. So, today my dad called me. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And that's just in the last week. 16 times in the last week. I probably called him like 3 times a day for most days. Let me text my mom. We are coming up with a plan for the weekend. I'm to help my brother move. So my husband is going to have to go from work directly to my parents' house. So we will have to pack an overnight bag. We have to leave early Saturday morning to get everything loaded into the U-Haul and get to where my brother lives. And then we have to unload and reload the U-Haul at least once. We have to unload it once, reload it, and unload it, so we've got to at least, not sure how much my brother has to move over to his new house, but it'll be a long day. And we are considering staying there overnight. And I don't think my husband was too keen on it. I think he really wanted to get home and try to have some Memorial Day plans. But I'd like to be going back through in the daylight hours instead of way late at night. So that's most likely what we'll end up doing, is staying the night with my brother in his new home. It won't be the best of living, but it'll be a place to sleep for the night. So yeah, that's how my week has gone. Leave me a comment with color suggestions or design suggestions for my fingernails, and I will do that next week for you guys. If I don't get any suggestions, I'll just come up with my own. I've got like a handful of you guys that comment regularly. I love you guys. You are awesome, and you make my day. Every time I get a comment from somebody, it doesn't matter where I'm at, I check my phone. I get the notification almost instantly, so it doesn't matter where I'm at. I'm always smiling ear to ear. My parents think it's so cool that I've got a following like this. So enjoy reading them. And when I become huge, I'm gonna remember you, obviously. I say that like I'm going to put in a bunch more effort. I am not. This is the most amount of effort I even have to put into this channel, and I feel awful. I mean, an hour a week is okay, but it's definitely not going to get me to Mr. Beast level famous anytime soon. But I'm okay with that. I don't know what I would do with I don't know what I would do with that many people watching me. That's a lot of pressure. And then getting sick is like, wow, I'm gonna lose so much. But yeah, anyway, my ramble is over. Thank you guys for listening. It's been hard this past week to feel good enough to even ramble into a microphone, so I really appreciate you guys being patient with me and letting me heal. My boss has been awesome, even though I've had to take an extra week off of work. She's actually the one that suggested that my sickness could be very bad morning sickness, and she's very excited because my boss is also my husband's brother's wife. That's so odd, but yeah, her kids are my nieces and nephews, so therefore our kids would be their cousins, so they're very excited to have more little feet running around. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you all next week.